Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Heard.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? This is Jaylon, YG Savage, Stanley, and this is Pass the Guard.
These fighters. JP though proving that he's tough, staying in the pocket and trading back, even after getting dropped. Ooh, huge uppercut. And Purple's really coming on alive this round. Throwing some top body shots.
Jaylon, YG Savage, Stanley.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Free Agent Guapo.
You know what it is.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Selfishly, one of my favorite fighters to go and look and watch spar. We go to the gym. My guys are getting ready. They're wrapping their hands. You get in the ring. I'm like, hey, y'all chill. Stop what y'all are doing. Let's watch this boy spar. And personally, I just feel like we always pick up on something, whether it's the defense, the offense, the movement, the everything.
Yeah.
Beautiful style, man. Beautiful style.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it.
Give us a little bit about yourself, man.
A little bit about myself. I mean, I was born and raised in Houston, Texas, on the southwest side. I've been boxing for only, 7 years, I want to say. Started off with basketball, switched that into football, stuck with football for the longest, want to get better with football. I'm just giving you a small little breakdown. I mean, ended up going into boxing, and I just fell in love, man. It was different.
So, multi-sport athlete, what position you play in basketball? What position you play in football?
And I see basketball, that was more of a little street thing, a little street basketball. But when it came to football, I played strong safety, a little bit of offense in a slot position, and then I played a little bit of running back too. Really, defense when playing football, man, I was all over the place. I even played one game as a stand-up defensive end, which was tough for a little guy like me, but it was cool. It was fun. I was fast enough.
And then from there, you get into boxing. How'd you get into that?
I really just wanted to get more condition. I always heard about a lot of boxers say, you know what I'm saying, or people saying that they go into a boxing gym to get more conditioning and stuff. So I'm like, let me see what it's hitting for. So, you know what I'm saying, I stepped in the boxing gym. The first boxing gym was PABA, Progressive Amateur Boxing Association, off in Dowling and, now it's Emancipation, but Dowling and Elgin. That's where I really started off at. Only coming on the strength conditioning days at first. But then Coach Ray and Coach Anthony was like, hey, man, try this out, try sparring. Next thing I started sparring, and, man, it was like second nature.
And then anybody who knows anything about Houston boxing knows that PABA was lit back then. That was the spot. And how'd you come up with the name YG Savage?
All right, so YG Savage, they came from YG, that's young guapo. Of course, if you know a little bit of Spanish, guapo is handsome in Spanish.
Yeah.
But I'm handsome, baby. That's what I'm used to hearing, handsome. Not to mention, I start hearing a lot of people call, like, they be like, hey, you savage, you know what I'm saying? After my fights and stuff, or, sometimes we got tough sparring sessions where it's like, if you a fighter, you know what it's like, man. It's like a tough sparring session where y'all cool as hell, but at the same time, I'm trying to F you up, you know what I'm saying?
And you gotta be a savage.
And yeah, I just brought them together in this YG Savage.
So were you watching boxing before you got into it? Was it something that you liked? Or you just, I'm gonna pick it up and see what's up?
I always liked boxing. One of my favorite fighters, especially coming up before I really started boxing like this, was Mike Tyson. I love Mike Tyson. I love the demeanor. I love the skill, like how accurate he was throwing these power shots. Man, it was beautiful, man.
And any other fighters that you watch, or any fight that you saw, you're like, man, that sold me, like that right there, that was it.
One of my favorite little eras is like the Hagler, Hearns, Duran, and Leonard era.
Yeah.
When they were fighting each other,
it was different.
I'm like, this is real.
And did you take any of your style off any of these fighters? With this fighter you watch, and you try to pick and choose
Man, I take so many different little things from almost every fighter. Like, it could be an iconic old fighter, even some of the newer guys like Shakur. I like guys like Pernell Whitaker, Floyd Mayweather, of course, Roberto Duran. Man, the way it's like a music going off in his head, the way he's so smooth with everything. Hearns, Tyson, that demeanor, like I said, just like F you mindset, because once you step in that ring, it's just you by yourself. So you gotta have that like assertiveness, aggression. You know what I'm saying? Because it's either kill me or I'm gonna kill you.
And that's it.
That's how it gotta be.
One of us gonna have to walk out this ring and win it, bro. Damn sure ain't gonna be the other guy.
Exactly. You know how it is.
Yeah. So how would you describe your style? You box, you punch, counter puncher, boxer puncher?
When I first started, I wanted to be more of a just aggressive fighter, just power puncher. But nowadays, I've transferred into more of a boxer puncher.
Yeah.
So I start off always boxing. Depends on the day, I might just come out swinging. But for the most part, I'm coming out boxing, being smart, using smart aggression, and sticking to my defense also, while still switching it right back to offense, because you still got to get your points in.
And then going from the amateur style, right, or not amateur style, but going from the amateur program where you're winning these fights and people know you locally, and then you go to Mississippi and you won the Sugarbird tournament.
Right.
And you're out there, 3 rings, you got 200 boxers from all over the U.S. You got Florida, you got New York, you got California. So from going and that having that experience to now where you're at now, what do you take from those moments to now?
Experience, for the most part, and the reason I say experience is because like seeing all of these talented fighters back to back in different rings, it kind of get the jitters out. Once you're around it so much, man, it helps get the jitters out, especially coming into these bigger fights where, these pro fights, it's completely different. The head get come off, the gloves get smaller, so at least I'm not as nervous as before I was even around most of these like top tier fighters.
And do you still get those jitters when you go in the ring? Because there's always a good time to. People talk about being scared, and it's not necessarily being scared. You can have a healthy fear of what could happen if you don't perform right or you don't train right. And I think that little bit of fear is always what fuels you to make sure I'm gonna be on my P's and Q's. I'm gonna eat right. I'm gonna train right and stuff like that. So when you go into that ring and you have this guy in front of you, and it is 8 ounce or you wear 10-ounce gloves. And you know that this guy is fighting for a paycheck, just like you're fighting for a paycheck. He's trying to get to the same spot you're trying to get to. Right. What's the mindset when you're standing 20 feet away and that guy is right across from you, knowing you're going to come swinging trying to knock your head off?
Yeah, when it gets to that point, it's really like staying focused. You really got to just drown out everything that's around you. If it's not, because, it's 2 dreams. It's 2 people in that ring, and it's my dreams against yours. If you beat me, you one step closer to your dream. If I beat you, I'm one step closer to my dream. It's passion right there.
Yeah. And then coming from Houston, you said Southwest side of Houston. So where exactly in Houston?
More like Gessner, Braeswood area.
Okay. And coming up, you start boxing. You're not playing football no more. You're not playing basketball. And they always say you can play those sports, but boxing you don't play. I box.
You can't play boxing.
Exactly.
You gotta live it.
So once you start training and you get in there, and who was your coach back then? Coach Ant?
Coach Ant.
All right. So you've had the same coach from the beginning. Mm-hmm. And you start going, and he probably believed in you before you started believing in yourself. And then things got a little bit hard, right?
Right.
Was there ever a time where you felt like, man, I don't know if this is for me, or maybe this just is, something for fun, where it took that transition from being for fun to like, nah, this is for real?
When I first started having my few fights and my sparring sessions started getting tougher and tougher and tougher, you know, it'd be a long ride after you get an ass whooping. So it's like, man, I don't know if I can do this no more. But I mean, coming in the amateurs, I guess that helped me so much that we had tough sparring sessions, because when it come to fight time, shit, I started off my career 10-0 as an amateur, so that was fun. But it took a lot of work, days I didn't want to get up and go run. I had to. I just got to do it.
And what fuels you? Like, again, a normal person is like, man, I ain't gonna wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Or, hey, I mean, you may have a girl, you may be out with family, you might want to go out with some homeboys, and it's a Saturday night, and you get home at 12, 1 o'clock, and then that next morning comes, and you know you got to go run.
Exactly. Where
most people would say, you know what, I'm gonna give it a day, I'm gonna chill today and relax. What gets you be like, nah, I need to get my ass up and I need to go do what I got to do?
What really makes me like focused as far as my training regimen, man, my family, because you know what I'm saying, my family and friends, I don't get to hang with them like that, because I know what's at stake. I know where I want to be compared to where I am at in life now. So it's sacrifices, you know. You got to be relentless making sacrifices, because every sacrifice that you make is going to pay off in the end, regardless.
And did you always have the support from the family? Like, a lot of times, either your brothers or your mom think it's a phase, like, oh, okay. And yeah, you might have a fight here or there. But then they start to see, man, he's really doing something.
Doing it.
Did you always have that support?
I really had to make everybody believers, you know, because anybody can start off with something. But I really say I always had the support, but I really had to truly turn them into believers. So just putting in the work. My mama seeing me, she used to get so scared the way I used to work, because I guess you could say I overtrain sometimes, because I want to win that bad every fight, literally. So she'll see it, and every time, it's like I made her believe it just watching my work ethic. And I mean, if you've been around me, anybody in Houston been around me, they know my work ethic. Like I'm not finna half-ass nothing. I gotta put it all in. Not to mention I gotta stay focused with my nutrition, everything. I give my life on the line when I'm in there. So I gotta give everything.
And then you talking about making them believers. Personally, I know the guy who is probably the very first believer in you, maybe before you even believed in yourself, yeah. Coach Ant. So tell me a little bit about that relationship, because I look at it and it's like it just goes together. You know what I mean? Yeah. Sometimes you'll have a coach and a guy and they're on two different pages. Like the coach is great and the fighter's great, yeah, but it just don't mesh together. And I see the way that y'all work. He may say a little something or give you a little look, and you already know what it is. Yeah. Like, get a little bit into that relationship.
Man, Coach, I've been knowing him since I was a teenager, since I was I met Coach when I was 17. I'm 27 now. And, man, it's been crazy ups and downs with Coach. You know what I'm saying? It's like here, man. Like, he like a father figure. You know what I'm saying? He always been there, regardless of how mad he can be at me. He's still gonna be right there. Just like he'll say something, and I just gotta take it and roll with it. You know what I'm saying? He a father figure. I listen to him. We understand each other. That's the biggest thing. We understand each other. You know, certain days I don't want to do certain things. I don't want to have a tough sparring session this day. No, we're gonna do it, and just gotta stick with it, man.
And that's the thing that a lot of fighters don't understand is, like, that coach, when he puts you in there, we have that relationship with y'all. Yeah. I tell my fighters every day, man, I love y'all before they leave, because I've had a lot of people in my life not be here. Something happens overnight or whatever, so I tell them all the time, man, I love y'all, y'all be safe, y'all be safe. And that's what they don't understand. When we put y'all in there, that's us. Like, we love y'all, we don't want to see that. Exactly. So when he's trying to push you, and you're like, man, I don't know. I don't feel like doing this today, and I don't feel like doing that today. And you have that bump of heads. You know that it's coming from a good place, yeah, right?
Of course.
Yeah. So he starts training, you start going. I've seen some Instagram clips of some like legendary sparring going down in the Power City boxing gym.
Hey, man.
Like when you were in there, what was the mindset? Because it was completely different. I gone to a lot of boxing gyms, but that mindset was completely different.
Man, it's whenever we in there, man, it's coach already know. He know the best things about one fighter, and he know our strengths and our weaknesses. And sometimes he'll turn them against us. So like it could be me and somebody else, and he'll say, "Hey, I want you to work on this against him." I'm not gonna tell y'all my weaknesses.
Yeah.
But of course, he'll tell him, "Hey, this is weakness. I want you to focus on this." And he'll tell me, "Hey, I want you to work on this." Or he'll take my jab away. You can only use your right hand. Man, and sometimes he just wants us to fight. You know what I'm saying? We gotta get our work in.
Because sometimes you can box or whatever, but there's always gonna be that one guy who's gonna push you, and you're gonna have to fight back.
Yeah.
And at that point, hey, if you ain't fought back like that before, then that's the wrong place to find out.
Yeah, your body ain't gonna know how to react.
And have you ever got burned out where you feel like, man, like I just need a break?
Yeah, I mean, I still get like that to this day, because, I mean, like I told you, I be overtraining sometimes, but thankfully I got Houston Strength in my corner, man. I be having to do my recovery, my cryo, stuff like that, compression, so that's a blessing too.
And when you're in that ring, and we know that you've gone out, you've been sparring these bigger name fighters, and you're picking up the competition, you're 4-0, right? 4-0.
4-0, 3 knockouts.
3 knockouts.
Yes, sir.
And the competition keeps getting there. You fight July 9th, so now you're picking up that sparring, you're doing this, you're doing that. When you get in there with somebody on a level that you hadn't been in there with before, and maybe it doesn't go your way, or maybe things are getting a little tough, what's your in-ring motivation? What are you thinking about to get you past in 4 or 5 rounds, maybe against this ex-world champion that is pushing you to your limit?
Think about my family, man. Like I said, I think about all them sacrifices I make and that I've been making throughout the years. It's too late to turn back. So, I mean, I got to give it everything, man.
And with everything going on now, what's changed in the way that you do things, the way that you live your life, the way that you try to eat clean and stay clean? What's changed now that maybe that Jaylon from 3, 4, 5 years ago, it's not even the same person?
No, definitely not the same, man. Playing defense in life, as my coach, as Coach Ankala, you know what I'm saying, playing defense in life, staying smart, staying focused, because, man, anything can happen that fast. So when I say playing defense in life, I mean even just, driving on the road, even if you run into something, wear some type of safety linings, all just anything, man. Just staying out the late night crowds and stuff, because anything can happen at any time, man. Everything that you've been sacrificing for can be taken away that fast, because I've seen it too many times.
And how do you block out those outside influences? Because we all got them. We got that one crazy cousin, or that one homeboy that we were with in school, and he's like, man, just this one night, or just this, or just that. Girls, hey, come see me. Like, nah, I got to get up and train in the morning. Like, how do you block that outside influence?
Just remembering where you came from. Remember where you came from, remember where you at now, and then remember where you trying to be still.
Man. So you fight July 9th.
July 9th.
Galveston, Texas. What are people going to see?
Well, what I want to show everybody is that I'm a great boxer. I'm an upcoming boxer that's going to be eventually at the top of the ranks, man. I want to show all my speed talent, my ring IQ. I want to show my strength. And I really want to put a lot of people in the Texas, that's in the state, on notice. Like, that's it. Really.
That's it. And what do you hope the fight gets you? You want this ABO title, maybe a little WBC junior title to go with that Sugar Burke WBC medal you got?
I'm a fighter that right now. We independent.
Yeah.
So if anything, opportunity, man, exposure, whatever it is, whatever that's gonna come with it. You know what I'm saying?
And being independent, that's the hard thing, right? Because a lot of these fighters come out, they have managers, or they have this backing or that backing.
Right.
Do you ever feel some type of way like, man, I'm working all this hard.
Of course.
I'm doing all this work.
Every time I'm training, man, I'm doing it with a chip on my shoulder. Because, you know, this guy got this, that guy got that, but what I got, you know what I'm saying? Some fighters like myself, independent, we coming from the ground up, getting it out the mud the hard way, you know what I'm saying?
Having to work, put in a full-time job, or
Still
do
working.
this and get some side work here.
You know what I'm saying?
Then I got to train, and then I got to go do another job, and then I got to finish over here.
Exactly.
And just trying to push through it, man. That's what's up, man. So what kind of legacy do you look to leave behind? Maybe there's another Jaylon Stanley somewhere on the Southwest that out there being a hard head. He likes playing sports. He likes doing this, whatever it is. And he just says, you know what? Man, there's a boxing gym right there. And he walks in that boxing gym and he says, this is what I want to do. What do you look to leave behind, and where do you want?
What I'm really looking to leave behind is, regardless of what background you come from, you can make it. I mean, all you gotta do is put the work in. That's why staying focused, making sacrifices is the biggest thing with me. Sacrifices. You gotta put in you gotta make sacrifices, because if you don't, it's pointless to do anything. And if that's the case, hell.
And then you don't make those sacrifices, and then 10 years of hard work just down the drain.
Literally down the drain. Like,
Damn.
you can make it, anything that you want to do, you literally can do it. Just gotta really just do it.
And apply yourself to it. And believe you can do it.
Nah, really.
Man, well look, July 9th, I know we're gonna be out there.
It's gonna be showtime, baby.
It's gonna go down. I've never seen you in a fight that wasn't fun to watch. And not fun isn't like rock 'em, sock 'em, two guys going at it. Nah, just like the science, like the head movement, the defense, everything that I was talking about earlier, man. We look to go out there on July the 9th and be entertained. How do you balance the being entertaining, but still being defensively sound? I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna do my thing, but I still want to put on the show, you know what I mean? You want the love from the people.
Right.
So how do you balance those two out?
Oh man, mixing so much what I be learning, especially when I be watching film, man. I like guys like Floyd, young Floyd. We're gonna say pretty boy Floyd.
Yeah.
I like guys like Leonard, guys like Pernell Whitaker. That's really making you pay. Oh, James Tony, man. Make you miss, make you pay, man. But still keeping everything interesting, staying safe. Because in this sport, you want to last. You ain't trying to take all these hits and bruises and stuff, knocks upside your head, hard punches. Nah, you want to stay safe in a way, in a dangerous place. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just make it beautiful, make boxing beautiful, you know what I'm saying, and still entertaining.
So you bring up James Toney. Personally, that's probably my second favorite fighter of all time behind Roy Jones. There's one fight that I absolutely love. I don't know if you've seen it, but you tell me your favorite James Toney. My favorite fight was Iran Barkley. I had never seen anybody move, have defense, and work off defense like that. So what was your favorite James Toney fight?
James Toney, man. Oh.
Or all of them?
Man, I like when he was like way smaller, like in the 160 division.
Yeah.
That was my favorite James Toney times, man. I could just watch him back to back to back to back. Like,
And learn so much.
It's hard to say a fact. It's hard to put a finger on it, man. It's
Because
hard.
he got something in every fight. Like I remember watching him back then. And if you look now, like I don't even know if you ever picked up on it. Every time he catches the jab, he moves his head twice. Catches the jab and moves his head. And I remember as a kid, I would see that. He was just so smooth with it, man.
He catch you in between punches. You trying to throw your combination, he catch you right in between. He manipulative, very manipulative while he in the ring. And that's what I mean, like staying safe in a dangerous place. Like you sticking in the mid-range the whole time, but boom, you slipping one, pow, slip another one, but it's just, man, in between somebody combination, just discouraging them the whole time. And mind you, they just weakening the whole time. Just death by 1,000 cuts, basically.
And stopping from even wanting to throw shots.
That's exactly what it is, man.
Man, well, that's what's up, man. Hey, well, it was a great interview. We look forward to seeing you July 9th.
Sir.
Jaylon YG Savage Stanley. Appreciate it, man.
No problem.